What is going on, you guys? Today I have another quick video review for you. This one's from Shu, and it's called He Quit His Job and Left the USA. You would not believe why. Let's get into it.
What's going on, my good people? You see that blue book, man? Right now, we are in Turkey, okay? Got a little layover in Turkey. Go watch my last video if you haven't checked that out. I went to go explore the city. I just came back not too long ago. Matter of fact, I was only supposed to be here for, no, I was supposed to be in Turkey for 10 hours, actually. My layover was 10 hours. I know it's crazy, but layover was 10 hours, but then they extended it 4 hours, and then they extended it another 1 hour. Like, what the heck is going on? But that's not what this video is about. This video is about this thing right here, man. Look, bro. It is time that you leave the US, okay? Now, this video is for anybody who is interested to know why I left the US, interested in leaving the US themselves, or yeah, whatever the case may be, man. If you don't have any responsibilities, you don't have a kid, you don't have a house, you don't have anything that's just tying you down immediately to the US, I suggest you take a step outside, okay? And I'm not talking about vacationing, right? I'm gonna make another video about that, but vacationing and traveling is not the same thing, okay? Just because you go on a vacation does not mean you got the full experience of the place, all right? You gotta travel.
And you can also do this if you have a kid in a house or other obligations as well. Obviously, it can be tricky depending on the situation. Like if you're caretaking for a parent or something, there's different places that would make it more difficult. It's for sure possible. Like I'll let the video keep going in a second, but I recently watched a video where a single mom from the US moved with her son to Bangkok, Thailand, and now pays $450 a month in rent. I don't know what you're paying in the US, but she made it happen. So could you.
You gotta go somewhere for weeks, 2, 3 weeks, a month, okay? First of all, let me just tell you guys, like, something that sparked this conversation, right? So I seen this, I was on YouTube, some YouTube video. I screenshotted it because I wanted to talk about it, right? Somebody said, a Benz, a house, and a degree are the old status symbols. The ultimate flex is freedom. Time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, right? Number one, I think somebody said this in the comments too, like, you shouldn't be flexing, no way. Like, you got some growing up to do. If you're still trying to flex, if you're still trying to prove to other people this, that, and the third, you got some growing up to do. But besides that, right, freedom is the new mansion, okay? Freedom is the new Benz, okay? Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not free, what do you really have? You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy to me because there's so many people, when I tell them, like, oh yeah, I live in Asia, blah, 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 they're like, oh, I want to come visit you. I'm like, come visit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I could ban you from entering the country, like, come visit. Like, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Pull up. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna come for like a couple days or like a weekend. I'm like, bro, the fact that you can only come for a weekend or a couple days is crazy to me, right? I think it's insane that we're human beings. Like, we're supposed to be able to do, like, God blessed us with free will. We're supposed to be able to do whatever we want to do. Like, so the fact that somebody else can tell you that you can't do this or you can't do that, like, I just don't like that. You know what I mean? And that's just me. I've never really liked that. I never really liked the idea of having, like, I'm not even a boss, but like, not being free. You know what I'm saying? Because like right now, I do work for people. Like I told you guys, I do like videography, photography, and stuff. So I do work for people all the time, but it's on my terms. You know what I mean? And it's more like a relationship, like a business. It's like a partnership, right? I do partnerships. You feel me? So, but yeah, nonetheless, man, I don't want to get too off topic. But my main point is, man, freedom is everything in this world, right? And me personally, I'll do whatever to get that freedom. You know what I'm saying? Even if it means sacrificing, like, temporarily not having that freedom, so I can make sure I have the freedom in the long term. Like, okay, cool. Like, if you got to get a job for a little while to stack up some bread so you can, like, get out the way, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? But like, the ultimate goal should be to be free. You know, I think America is lost, right? I feel like America has officially lost the plot. I remember one day I was on Facebook and I seen somebody talking about, like, oh, I already got 2 jobs and I just lined up another interview tomorrow, man. God, so good. I'm like, man, like, I feel like that's not God's plan for you. Like, there's no way. Like, obviously I can't say what God has planned for somebody else, but in my opinion, it's no way God wants you to be working 3 jobs. Like, that's not what he put you on this earth to do. Like, it's just no way. I refuse to believe that. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, how can you enjoy your life if you're working 3 jobs? Like, but that's normal in America. It's normal to work as much as possible. Like, if you are, bro, I see like all these people, like the success people, whatever they say, like, oh, you can't get 8 hours of sleep and be successful. Okay, that might be true, but you can't not get 8 hours of sleep and be healthy. You know what I'm saying? So what's more important, the health or the success? I understand sometimes you do got to sacrifice sleep for that bag, but
You have to get to the point where you break out of the hard work mode. Like what he's saying is absolutely right. Like, for example, like Alex Hermosi or somebody, right? Like somebody entrepreneurial that's like, you gotta work hard, you gotta work hard, you gotta work 16 hours a day. Well, that's not sustainable, first of all. And yes, you can do that for a little bit. I applaud you for that for sure. You have to get to the point where you bridge that to working smarter and you're working less over time and just working smarter and making more because of that. Which, by the way, he's going to get into this here, but That's why you could even, if you have the privilege of being from like a Western country like US, UK, Australia, Canada, and you can work remotely, pull that US dollar to somewhere like, let's say, like Romania or somewhere in Africa or Southeast Asia or Latin America, where the dollar will stretch for you. You could even work part time at that point. I hear people saying that they live off like 1,000 or 2,000 a month, income in the like Philippines, for example, or like Vietnam, right? You probably want to make more than that for sure, but they're saying like there was a guy saying that he didn't pay more than about 1,000 total that whole month in like Vietnam or the Philippines. So just keep that in mind, because this is possible for you, and you want to get to the point where you free up that time that you keep giving like 8 hours, 10, 12, whatever to work, and you can start building your own thing.
At the same time, like you gotta, that's not what's ultimately important. You feel me? That's not what's ultimately important. And so in my mind, I look at it like I'd rather make 40K a year and live overseas than to make 200K a year and live in the US, right? Because overseas, that 40K, that can go a long way and it's stress free. But in the US, you can make 200K and still be stressed out, right? But why are you still stressed out even though you make 200K? Because America has it to where it's like, it's basically a trap, right? So they'll give you the salary, and they say like salary is the new slavery, right? So basically what happened was slavery is like, okay, you work for me, you live on my property, you get food from me, this, that, and the third, you get no money, right? Now what they have done, it's like a middleman. They give you some money, but you still work for them, you still live on their land, you still, all of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? And you can't leave them, quote unquote, like, you know what I'm saying? You need them, right? So it's still slavery. Like in America, like you're still a slave. If you can't go to Asia for 3 months just because you want to, because of a job, that's slavery. You know what I'm saying? Obviously it's not like whips and chains and things like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to downplay that, but I'm just saying the concept of free will. Like you don't have free will if you can't just move how you want to move when you want to make that move. You know what I mean? So yeah, like the whole system is a trick, right? I'm gonna break it down. Like from the very beginning, how they teach you is this, right? They put you in school, and you should look up who started the school system. Okay, I want to say not the Rothschilds, but what's some rich people called, bro? Oh, I can't think of their name right now, but the rich people had a lot of influence on the school. And basically, bro, if you think about it, like the school is set up to basically transition you to work a job. You know what I mean? Like if you think about it, okay, lunch break, bro. Lunch break, what is lunch break, bro? I eat lunch when I want to. What the fuck? Like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? If I make a schedule and I eat at a certain time, okay, cool. But like lunch break is a job term. A lot of these terms that we grew up with in school, they carried on outside to the real world, okay? So we got lunch break, you know what I'm saying? You gotta ask to use the bathroom, you gotta work in desk, okay? You know what I'm saying? You got a desk at school, you got a desk at work, you gotta work with a bunch of strangers just like school. Like a lot of it is the same, and it's the same because that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a seamless transition into the real world, right? You're supposed to go from school to the real world, but the real world is they create the real world for you, right? Okay? People don't understand, like, you're allowing them to create your world. You're not creating your own world, okay? If you're following the system, like, you gotta think you can do anything you want to do in this world, bro. Like, I'm literally in Turkey right now. I've never been in Turkey before. I literally have a layover in Turkey, so I said, okay, cool. I'm gonna check out the city, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm just chilling, making a YouTube video, and you guys are watching it, bro. You can do whatever you want to do in this world, bro, and don't let anybody convince you different. If you got an idea, all you need is a plan, and then you can just do it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't saying everybody can do what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I really believe that this is my God-given talent, okay? So you gotta find your God-given talent, of course, but like you can capitalize off of that. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, it's a trap, right? So number one is boom. They set it up so you seamlessly transition into the real world, right? So boom, you go from school. I used to think all the time, like, yo, I remember like my senior year in high school, right? I'm 18, and I gotta ask to use the bathroom, right? Then I graduate, and 2 months later, I'm living on my own. What? Like, how does that make sense? Like, how y'all prepping me for college, but I gotta actually use the bathroom? Like, it's just little things like that, bro. Like, it's just weird. But anyway, so even that though, like, let's get into it. Like, it's a trap, right? So boom, they tell you to go to college. You know, 1/3 of students change their majors, right? So that means 1/3 of students aren't sure what they want to do, which is normal and understandable. You know what I'm saying? I just started doing YouTube literally April 2024. I'm just now realizing, like, okay, this is what I want to do. You feel me? But before you can think cognitively, right? Before your frontal lobe is fully developed, they get you to sign up for college, sign up for them student loans, and get in debt as soon as you turn 18. So you mean to tell me that when I was a senior in high school, right, I had to actually use the bathroom, but 2 months later I could get a loan for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars? How does that make sense? That's a scam. I know a scam when I see one, okay? So that's a scam. And then boom, that's how they get you, right? Now you're in debt, now you gotta pay that debt off, okay? Boom. And then they say, okay, you go to college, you're gonna get this job. Well, you get a job, what you do? You start making more money. But it's called lifestyle inflation or lifestyle creep. Okay, what happens is the more money you get, the more you feel like you need to buy things. So you start buying more. It's getting a little crowded over here, man. 1 second, gang.
So it goes like this: you make more money, and you keep spending more. You know, better apartment, better car, better whatever. So you never actually save more. You can see how the gap never really changes, unless you're smart about it, of course. Um, I would probably say a lot of people go the route of continuing to spend more, the lifestyle creep, as they make more.
Okay, man, new location, same message, all right? So, like I was saying though, I think it's called lifestyle inflation or something like that. And basically, it is the more money you make, the more, like, you basically upgrade your lifestyle with your money, okay? So, you start making, let's say you're making 50K, now you're making 100K, right? So then, okay, I'm gonna get this car, right? Okay, I'm gonna get this house. Like, but that's not how it's supposed to be. That's a trap. That's what they get you, right? As a kid or whatever, they plant this idea of you gotta get a Benz, you gotta get a big house, right? But all that is a trap. You feel me? Once you get the Benz and the big house, then you gotta pay for that, okay? And because you gotta pay for that, then you need the job. And because you need the job, you can't go to the age of 3 months.
And they create all these situations like the being in debt because of college, or being in debt for a mortgage for a house, right? Or even they give us bad food that's not really healthy, and then they sell you the, you know, medicine or the surgery, etc. Right? I'm not going to get too into that right now, but they create the problem and they sell you the solution, and they keep you working. What he was talking about earlier was John D. Rockefeller. He said he wanted a nation full of workers and not free thinkers, and he funded the U.S. public school system. So it's designed to keep you working 8 hours or more, go home, and continue to build their dream, but not yours.
You feel me? It's a trap. You know what I'm saying? And so you gotta be careful and avoid that. You know, I was lucky enough to avoid that pretty much for the most part. I didn't really make any big commitments early on. So, you know, kudos to me for that. You feel me? But yeah, man, it's all a trap, bro. That debt is a trap, bro. And they try to get you. What they say, like, whoever is in debt is a slave to the whatever. You know what I'm saying? The Bible verse, yeah, that one. But yeah, man, no, it's true though. You feel me? And that's how they get you. And they don't even teach you about money for real, for real. They don't teach you that the only way to get rich is to spend less than you earn. That's the only way. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way. Nobody teaches you that though. Like, it's a very simple concept, but that's the only way. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is living above their means. Everybody is impressing each other. America is super consumerism. People are always trying to buy clothes, buy things that we don't really need. You know, when I came back to America this past time, right, after being away for so long, it was so interesting to hear people talk about shoes and talk about a bunch of things that just don't matter. You know what I mean? And not only do they not matter, but it's so interesting to me. It blows my mind that so many people can be complaining about the economy, yet so many people are celebrating holidays. In my opinion, I think Christmas is the dumbest holiday ever. And I'm talking about the way Americans and most people celebrate it. You know, most people don't celebrate it for religious purposes, right? So let's get that out the way, okay? Most people celebrate it to give gifts and to receive gifts. But if everybody's complaining about the economy, the job market, wages, the cost of living, inflation, why are we celebrating Christmas? Why are we buying gifts for each other and everybody's broke? That don't make no sense to me. Like, it makes zero sense to me. Like, I don't understand. If we're not rich, why are we spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on gifts? It literally makes zero sense to me. And then even outside of Christmas.
Oh, there's another good point here outside of holidays, because I heard a guy talk about this recently. Why are you celebrating? Why are you partying so much on the weekends or after work? Why are you using that time to watch Netflix, video games, adult entertainment, scroll your phone, go to a party, go to the club, pop bottles, smoke, do whatever you're doing? And if you think about it all the way around, well, bro, I need some release. I work so much. So you're trying to escape the life that you've created or that they've created for you. So it's designed to keep you anxious, tired, and broke, the system. And you fall prey to it afterward because you never do what you're going to say to do to break out of the system. Oh, I'll do that after work. Oh, I'm too tired. I'll do that tomorrow. Again and again, again. And then you're 65 and you retire, if that early. Like, I recently had a friend's dad pass away as soon as he retired. So what are you celebrating? I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to celebrate every once in a while, but a lot of people are like going to the bar or the club like every weekend or a couple times a week, rather than even using that little bit of money there to tuck it away into like stocks, investments, figuring out a way to actually break out, maybe build your own business, even if it's just you as the one man business, self employed. You could do that, stay in the US, make more, or bring that dollar to a country where it stretches. So you kind of become like a digital nomad, remote worker. You could even work part time, like US dollars in another country. I mean, think about this. Like, what are you celebrating? Maybe if you pause that for a while, really built a life that allowed you to not want to escape from it and do all those things all the time, then you could break free of that cycle. Then you would have something to celebrate.
Look at it, bro. January, New Year's, February, Valentine's Day, March, April, Easter. We got Labor Day. We got Veterans Day. We got Halloween. We got Thanksgiving. We got Christmas. Like every single month, it's a reason for you to spend money, right? And like me, I'm like, bro, I'm not about to sell. I don't even, bro. I'm not celebrating that stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to get nobody no gift. If you're watching this, I don't want to get you a gift. Okay, I don't want to get you a gift. I don't expect gifts. I don't want to get people gifts. Like I said, if we're not rich, I don't understand why we just wasting money. To me, it's just a waste of money. You know what I'm saying? And it's a trap. Like we're willingly doing this stuff. It doesn't have to be like that, man. And like I said, bro, I would rather, like wholeheartedly, I'd rather make $22,000 and live on my own terms than to make $100K and live on somebody else's terms. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, bro, I can't do it because I've done it before, but I can only do it for so long, bro. Wake up and live somebody else's dream, help somebody else get rich, like do something that I don't love. I can't do it. I don't care how much money I'm making, bro. If I'm making 200K, 300K, bro, I get bored. You know what I'm saying? I have to chase my dreams, like no matter what. You know what I mean? But that's just me, bro. And yeah, man. It's just a big scam, bro. It's just a big scam. And when you leave, and the thing is also, right, America's a scam, but they play it so well. In school, they don't even teach you about the good things about other places. For example, Vietnam is amazing. Whenever I tell people Vietnam, people are a little standoffish. Why? All we know about Vietnam is the war. We don't know how great it is. We don't know how nice people are. We don't know how beautiful it is. We don't know any of this stuff. They don't teach you that. They're not going to teach you about the good things about all these other places. When you learn about Germany, what you learn about? The Holocaust. You don't learn about all the good things that are going on in Germany. You know what I'm saying? It's so much going on in the world outside of America, and they just don't teach you that. They only teach you the bad things. And you think that's an accident? No, they don't want you to know it's another world out here, right? They don't want me telling you the information that I'm telling you right now. You feel me? It doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to take the traditional route, okay? And what you got to understand, though, right? If you don't take the traditional route, like me, for example, okay, I don't get traditional benefits. You know what I'm saying? So some people are living XYZ seemingly, and I'm not. But it's like I'm not taking the traditional thing, so I'm not gonna get the traditional rewards. I know that. You know what I'm saying? I'm comfortable with that. But people on the outside looking in, they might not understand what I'm doing. They might not get it. But I don't want the same thing you want. I'm not interested in the same things you're interested in. That doesn't appeal to me. I don't want to wake up in the same place every single day for the rest of my life. I'm not cool with that. I don't want to, like, I want to do what I want to do. If I feel like doing that, okay, but I don't want to have to do that. Like, I do what I want to do, bro. If I can't do what I want to do, I'm not enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, man, hold on. Let me touch on some points real quick. Okay, I'm just going out the dome right now, but let me see. I know I got some points somewhere. But yeah, even like overseas, like in Asia, bro, they not checking no credit score for nothing. If you trying to get a crib out here, this is what you do. Here goes the money. Okay, here go the keys. Thank you. That's it. They're not checking no credit score. They're not co-signing. Like none of that goofy stuff, bro. That's America. That's like made up mumbo jumbo. You feel me? Like bro, it's a trap, bro. They figure out 1,000 ways to make you feel trapped. Even your credit score, bro. Who cares? Like, bro, who cares? Like, honestly, bro. Like, I've never even needed my credit score. Like, I spent mad time. Like, seriously, bro. I spent mad time in my life working to build my credit score. I've never even used it. Like, it was just something I was thinking about, worrying about for no reason. I never even used it. Literally, I've never once used my credit score for anything. It's never helped me ever in life. It's never helped me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and you don't need it, bro. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know what to tell you guys, bro. But it's just a different world out here. And you know, all I can do is post these videos and hope that you guys can understand it and see it, right? That's all I can do. Like, man, it's just a different world out here. It doesn't have to be like the traditional route, bro. It doesn't have to be like guns. Like, for example, it was just a school shooting not too long ago, bro. It's plenty of places in the world where it has been no school shooting. You guys understand that, right? It's plenty of places in the world where it has been no mass shootings. And if it has, not multiple times in 1 year, that's crazy. That's not normal. You feel me?
By the way, that's a really good point. So, like, for example, Colombia would be a good example here. It's a lot safer than you think it is. Or like Brazil, right? It's not like as dangerous as it's made out to be by the US or the media. It's funny because if you go to some of these places, like I was watching a video recently where a guy was talking about a Brazilian friend of his went to visit like San Francisco or something I know not the best example of the U.S., but he visited there, and he came back and he was like, that felt like more of a third world country than where I was from in Brazil, which is nuts to think about, and like when I was traveling and living abroad, people would ask me what's wrong with America. Isn't it dangerous there? Which is hilarious, right? Because they think we're dangerous, we think they're dangerous, and really, it's all fear. We just don't understand, and it's also what we're shown and taught, through school and media, things like that. So just keep that in mind.
It's not normal to have a disagreement with somebody and somebody pull out a gun. Like none of this stuff is normal, bro. Like America normalizes it, and if you're there, like everything that's normal in America, I promise you, bro, it's not normal everywhere, and a lot of it makes zero sense. Like I said, I remember growing up in high school and stuff, in middle school or whatever, like people wearing Jordans. Bro, Jordans are $200 sneakers. Nobody's rich. Why are we buying Jordans? Why are we wearing Jordans? Nobody's rich. What are we doing this stuff for? You feel me? And then when you think about what you're doing it for, you're doing it for other people. You want to look cool for other people. Like granted, okay, you might do it for yourself.
Okay, and one thing on that, they teach you to become a worker and not a free thinker. So like another business owner, entrepreneur, even if it's just you, the one man business, they don't want another Rockefeller family. That's why. And they teach you to be a worker, to make them money, and then during your free time you try to escape and you consume. So you buy things like Jordans or drinks or whatever to keep you in that state where you don't climb out of it. So they teach you not to be a producer, a creator of your own life. They keep you stuck building theirs.
Right? But you got to ask yourself, are you rich? Are you where you want to be in life? If no, then why are you spending money on random things, bro? You know what I'm saying? And okay, it's okay to treat yourself every now and then. You feel me? We all put in some type of work, and we all deserve to reward ourselves for that. You know what I'm saying? But like to like be, I want to say live frivolously. I don't know if that's a word or not. I know the word. I don't know if I said it right, but to not be, to just be like throwing your money away, bro. Like and living in excess, right? It's okay. Okay, you buy a pair of Jordans once a year, maybe, right? But like you buying 6 pair, 4 pair, 3 pair a month, even buying 2 pair, even buying 1 pair a month, like bro, if you're not where you want to be in life, then what are you doing that for? You know what I'm saying? I'm just using Jordans because that's how I grew up thinking like, okay, I gotta get some Jordans, like that's the cool thing. Bro, newsflash, the cool thing probably gonna keep you broke, bro. You feel me? Just pay attention to what everybody else is doing, bro, because as you can see, everybody complaining about the economy, so that's why. How are you buying $80 Stanley Cups, but you complain about the economy? It never makes sense, man. It's all goofy to me. The whole structure is goofy to me, bro. And I'm past that, so yeah, man, where's that, man? I think I put it up, man, but the blue book, bro. You gotta get your blue book, okay? And you gotta get out of, definitely get out your hometown, but I don't even think hometown is enough. Get out the U.S., okay? I tell people all the time, like, bro, the U.S. ain't even fun to me. You know what I'm saying? None of this stuff is fun to me. Like, going to the club, all that stuff, like, bro, it just costs so much money unnecessarily for, like, anything. Like, it costs to breathe. Like, even, like, you can't even walk to, like, a good gym. Most people can't just walk to a gym, right? Most people can't just walk to hang out with their friends or do it in an affordable way. You gotta get gas, you gotta pay for a car note, you gotta do all that. Like, bro, nobody has time for that. You know what I'm saying? It's all a scam, bro. And it's the Matrix. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Matrix, but that's literally the world, okay? It's literally a group of people that are woke and it's a group of people that are asleep. Simple. Some people are just conforming with the world and some people are being themselves, okay? And yeah, man, this stuff gets deep, bro. I can go on and on and on and on and on about it. I'm not gonna do that to you guys today. But yeah, man, it's just not where it's at, man. You feel me? If you're worried and you're stressing, bro, that's not how you're supposed to be living life, bro. You're not supposed to be living check to check. You're not supposed to be like, even like hustling, like, you know what I'm saying? Like hustling. You're supposed to be enjoying this, right? You're supposed to find your purpose. And even like this YouTube, like, bro, this is work, but like, bro, I love doing this. I love editing videos. I love filming videos. Like that's how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be waking up in the morning, like, and not wanting to go do what you're about to do. You feel me? You're supposed to love what you're doing. Every single day you wake up, you're supposed to be so happy that you get another chance to do what it is that you love. And if you aren't doing that, man, like I said, I understand if you got responsibilities, right? But if you have no responsibilities, man, you aren't living the life that you want to live, you got to change something up, bro. Trust me. You got to take a chance. And the thing is, if you take a chance, you can come back to the life you live now, okay? It's not going nowhere. Maybe you can't get that job, but you can get another job, bro. It's not that big of a deal. And then we seen COVID, bro. They'll let you go anyway. You know what I'm saying? So if you could fail doing what you don't like, you might as well try doing what you do like. You feel me? You can fail regardless. So at least fail doing what you like to do and what you love to do. Like, you feel what I'm saying, bro? Like, I don't know, man. It gets deep, like I said, bro. But this will be going through my mind. You feel me? But right now, like I said, we at the airport.
that's a good point too. You have to stop caring what other people think. And that can go deep too. Like, the majority of people don't live the life that they actually want for fear of judgment, negative comments from others. So they don't actually live authentically. And they live their whole life that way, according to someone else. And that's not to mention like the whole like the way we're programmed to go through school and be workers part. But then you fear like judgment from people you know or strangers. The people that should support you or random people who you don't even know. Why does that matter? And then think about this too. Even if you do exactly what your family and your friends tell you to do, the thing that you think they won't judge you for, like if you follow their advice, you'll still get negative comments and judgment and misunderstanding. And in that circumstance, you didn't even have a backbone or a spine. So you listened to them, you didn't do what you wanted, and people still judged you for it. How dumb is that? To live the life that you really want. And think about this other thing too, like the hustle culture part. You could be like a construction worker. They should be getting paid more. Or someone doing like a trade, for example. Put in long hours. For what? What are you building for? Are you going to ever stop working those long hours? You got to break out of that to work smarter. Even a doctor might be an interesting example. They go through all that time for med school. They start making, let's say, like a boatload of money, a lot of money. But then they're miserable. It's different if you really wanted to be a doctor, but oftentimes it's like someone told you that. And then you realize deep down, probably if you're watching this video and you made it this far, you might be like, yeah, I really don't want to be a doctor. It's kind of miserable. I kind of don't like it. Which is fine. You can't fall prey to being inside the sunk cost fallacy. That's like, oh, I put all this time into med school and now I'm a doctor and I've been doing that for years, so I can't do anything else. That's BS. Obviously, you can. You have one life. Think about that. You have one life, and you're going to waste it doing something for somebody else or something that you don't like. We can do better. And thank you for making it this far in this video. Go subscribe to Shu. Really great channel. Subscribe over here as well, so I can help more guys like you. Basically live a life by design. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.